Just chilling on Christmas Eve morning before I go to a friend's place, and I am trying to farm Jenkins. Unfortunately, I found out that this would have been a lot easier if I had a particular quest that I could just do it on, but as I've already done the quest, I've looked up alternate methods of farming him, and there is one that I found. I've done a couple of runs already. I'm just going to go through them a few more times until I get bored of it, basically. But I just realized that my Twitch title is incorrect, so I'm changing it right now. I don't know why it does that. There, just changed it. Hopefully that will now work. Start. Alright, let's do this. Leroy Jenkins. This is gonna be really slow though. Apparently it's just a very small chance of any loot midget spawning from these loot crates, let alone specifically for Jenkins. Out of all of the trophies, because of this one thing, because if it's a random drop, I found this one to be the hardest. But, you know, it's chill. Just kind of running around. I'll get sick of it eventually, and then I'll do something else. But I do kind of want to get the platinum for it. And I think it's possibly, could be wrong, I could change my mind. It's possibly quicker doing this. I shouldn't be bothering about collecting the loot. I'm doing it. Just looking to see if the loot midget drops. It'd be easier doing it this way than starting a whole new character and trying to get every challenge again at level 1, because you have to get all the challenges at level 1, at least, on one character in order to get the trophy. Can't split it across characters, so makes it a little hardcore. And I always find it a bit annoying when they have a trophy that relies entirely on random drop. I shouldn't even bother killing these guys that can't even damage me anyway. It's gonna waste time. But we'll see how it goes. Not super gung-ho about it. It would just be kind of cool to get the platinum for it, just because I do quite like the game. But if I start getting aggravated or something, then, you know, I'll quit, because gaming is supposed to be fun, not aggravating. Unless you're playing in the guide. Then gaming is simultaneously fun and aggravating. What's up? Okay, I'm still getting the hang of the efficiency of this run. It's only my third time through doing it. I just want to run through, open up all the boxes, see if a loot midget jumps out, kill it, and then move on. Oops. The reload button's the same as the open box button. Ah. And here it is. Because fortunately there are people much more dedicated to this than I am, so I just watched a video of somebody else doing this and copied it. And that's what I'm doing now. Otherwise, I honestly have no idea where to go farming for, random loot midget drops. Like, that's pretty specific. Continue. Live my little head there. We're just relatively festive. I'm melting. I saved it with the freaking rocket launcher up. It's alright, doesn't matter. So for anybody who's watching this, if you'd like to know, in order to spawn at that point, I had to run all the way up here manually, which only took a couple minutes, but still had to do it. And then go through that door there, and then come back out, and it saves it right there. Do the run, save and quit, and start it over. Comparatively speaking, I'm newer to this game than a lot of others who played it since release. So a lot of these things I'm doing for the first time, I'm sure other people have done years ago. But for me it's new, and I'm sure I'm probably not the only one who has started this game later than when it was released. So I figured, nah. Point. So I figured I may as well at least be informative while I'm doing it instead of just doing it. Is there another one around here? No. Alright. Efficiency. Okay, there we go. I'm getting the hang of this now a bit better. Just memorize where all the different boxes are. I can just go through and gotta make sure to check too that the loot widgets actually drop out as opposed to just opening them and running past. Grenade! Yeah. You cannot hurt me. I am twice your level. That's how we measure strength, is in levels. Makes sense. In real life, I tell you I'm level 30. And you say you're level 15. We understand each other. So levels are a thing that you relate to from one person to another. Talking gaming, man. We've got him on the run. Who invented the concept of levels anyway? Like, it's not even relatable to real life. Really, like, I guess, I mean, from a gaming sense, it makes perfect sense from a gaming view, but like somebody originally would have had to make that idea up. Stop! Explosions are fun. Krieg. See, there, it's not a circle for no reason. Losing efficiency. Right down here. That's what it is. New loot midgets, new. Increasing aggression. Wait, what? Was that not a. I did have one loot midget drop out earlier, my second run through. This is my third run through today. But it was just a regular loot midget. It was not Jenkins. I'm trying to get Jenkins so I can get the modified trophy. Something in my eye. Like, is it even damaging me? I can't even see. Oh, like 1 health or something. I think that's it. Yep, so, see, it doesn't really take that long to run through one thing, but this is a really small chance of, the thing is, I don't know if, like, loot drop increases help that or not. They might. If I was thinking ahead, which I wasn't, I would have equipped the 5% loot drop increase relic, but I don't have it on, and I'm not going all the way back to Sanctuary for it, because it's only 5%, and it would take me longer to go back there and get it and then run all the way back through here and do it. Just for 5% increase on something that's probably already exceptionally small anyway, so I don't think it's going to actually do enough good. Like, 5% increase of 0.01% chance of dropping is not enough to care about. The only other thing I need to do to get platinum is have a Goliath level up 4 times. Having trouble doing that. I tried it a few times this morning, but on different levels, different characters. The problem is, it seems to be unless I've got weapons or maybe even a character that's similar level of enemies, I either one-shot them, and so I can't knock the helmet off of Goliath for it to even start leveling up, because I just kill it, or I don't do enough damage because they're too high level, and so here we go. Another loot thing, but it wasn't the right one. And so, because of that, I haven't really been able to properly do it, so I don't know if there's something else I should do with that, or what. Ah. Because it's Christmas, yeah, well, Christmas Eve anyway for me, I am drinking a liqueur coffee. Normally I have alcohol this early in the morning, but I'm chilling the fuck out. I like coffee in the morning, but I just got a Bailey's Irish Cream for a Christmas present from a friend yesterday. So I put it in the coffee, and I am now drinking it.
Throwing grenade!
What's up? The fireball out the ass maneuver. Hits him every time. So, oh, I missed with that.
I feel a frenzy!
I feel a frenzy. There's freaking fireball flying around. Fireball sperm. And impregnate somebody. Then explode. Boom. What's up? What's up?
Tossing out grenade!
Yeah. Ooh, look. Good place to hide, buddy. Okay. Nothing. Boo. Oh well. We'll hopefully eventually get it. The fact that this is only my 4th run, the fact that I've got 2 loot midgets already is probably a decent sign. It's just that they need to be the right one. If not one run clear now. Okay. No, it's the other way. Yeah, there it is. This one. It's the gunfire sound effect here. From human vocal cord. Nothing! Okay, so quick restart. It'd be funny if one jumped out right then. And by funny, I mean demoralizing. I'm melting. I'm melting. Yeah. Continue. Liqueur coffee is the way to go. Way to start a Christmas period morning. Hells yeah. Also, I don't even know what mission this is for. Professor Nakayama, I presume? I don't know. I've done so many missions with this character on multiple difficulties that I tend to forget Which you'd think I would remember from doing so many, right? But no. Just because I just run through them, I don't remember the names of the missions. Like, the first time I played this through, I paid attention to the story and all the mission names and all that. But from the second playthrough on, I just, you know, kind of blew through it. It's not like... I don't know, like, who really pays attention to the story the second time through in a game? Like, even like on good role-playing games like Dragon Age, I don't, like, sit there and listen to all the story the second time through. I'll maybe make different choices and that kind of thing, but I don't sit there and listen to all the dialogue. Oop. Oh my god. Open. No, wrong one. Oh, it doesn't matter. I wasted valuable time opening the wrong crate. Shut up, motherfucker! That's just fun. Burp. So many explosions. Juicy sword explosions! Best gun name in the game. What's up, bitch? Oh, tried to blow me up.
No, don't do it!
Wrong button. Keep doing that. Keep pressing L1 for grenade. I don't know why. Well, may as well use it. Oh, you can't run from me. Oh, no more enemies. Okay, now back to. Oh, that was refreshing. Yes. Back to spawning. That's not the right word. Back to spawning. Wow, I clearly need this coffee. Farming. Farming doesn't even sound like spawning. It has an A in it. Not a morning person. It's not even like that early anymore. Woke up at 8, I guess. Maybe a bit after. So many boxes. More boxes here than a brothel. Bad punning for the win. Bad and inappropriate punning. That is my way. Looks so concerned. Meh. The other thing I do want to do with this character is actually complete Ultimate Vault Hunter mode. I haven't done that yet. Started it, but yeah, haven't gone all the way through. After a few runs of this, I might do that for a bit actually, depending on what time it is. Just because I'm pretty sure, even if it doesn't, that's not a big deal. I'm pretty sure it will keep my normal difficulty save as far as where I'm starting if I play on a different difficulty. And even if it doesn't, I can still run back up here anyway if I want to farm it again later. But we'll see. Maybe I'll just farm this for a while. So I'm leaving in an hour and a half to go to a friend's place over Christmas. So depending on how long I do this for, I may not want to get started on a proper playthrough. Just due to the time investment.
Bandits, look alive!
If feel like this is something that would be more fun, be more tolerable, maybe is a better word, if I was doing it with a friend to talk with. Hey, look. Talk with at the same time. Monologuing? No, I may or may not have an audience. It's okay. Kind of pretend there might be somebody listening, even if it's not right now. They might watch it later. But there's only so much of that I can do. I just start getting bored. So, we'll see how long I can maintain this for. I think this is my 5th run through now, is it? Lost track. Yeah, I haven't done that many, but because it's all the same, I don't really, not really counting. Loot chests. Come on, loot midgets. I need your Jenkins. If I'd known ahead of time about that one thing, I could have just farmed the quest. Can't remember what it's called, but it's somewhere in the wildlife preserve anyway. Could have just farmed the quest as I did it. But I wasn't aware of it, so at the time. And this is something anyway, at least I can do this once in a while. And maybe eventually it'll pop. Boom, boom. Nothing. Save and quit. Continue. Oops. So yeah, because this is my, essentially it's my first Christmas alone, more or less. A couple of friends invited me over to their place for 3 days. Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, and Boxing Day. So we're gonna nerd the fuck out. And I'm bringing over my Super Nintendo Mini. It's gonna be great, because retro gaming for the win. We're both, well, 3 of us, 2 friends that live together, of similar ages, so we were both raised with those games and love them. And none of us have really played them pretty much since our childhood, since I've recently acquired the Super Nintendo Mini, which is hard as shit to find. Recently they've got more stock in, which is cool, but they're still quite low even now, and the store I got mine from only had 2 left. I just happened to walk in when they had them, and I wasn't even specifically looking for it. I was just getting something else, and I saw that they had it in, and I was like, holy shit, buy the fuck out of that. So I did. Best decision of the month, for sure. 20 games on that sucker. 21 technically, if you count Star Fox 2. Which actually I haven't played that yet. I haven't played Star Fox 2 yet. But it's got a good chunk of the classics from the Super Nintendo. There are some I wish they would have put on there, but you know, I can understand why they didn't cost a lot of money for licensing to, you know, release games like that under the medium legally, you know, of course. So they got a good chunk of them, and some I hadn't even actually played yet, which is cool. So for me, I'm actually playing some new games as well, like maybe half dozen games I hadn't played, like Earthbound. The Kirby games I never actually played on Super Nintendo. I only played Kirby on Game Boy. Secret of Mana I actually never properly played through. I played it a bit with my friend at his place, but we would pretty much just go around and murder shit because he'd played a fair chunk of the game already, so it was towards the end anyway. So we're basically kind of treating it like an action game, which is pretty cool because for back in the day, you're talking like a role-playing game, you know, like that, heavy on story and everything, and it's essentially single player, but because the combat scenes were real-time as opposed to turn-based, and you had 3 characters to choose from, a second player could jump in, play another character, all have unique abilities as well, and join in. It was actually really fun. So I'm actually looking forward to properly playing that through from the beginning, actually experiencing it properly. And then we've got classics on there like Final Fantasy III, which, you know, we later found out after it was released that it was really the 6th installment, but because in America they only released 2, or well, America, anywhere outside of Japan, I think, they only released 2. It wasn't as popular for whatever reason. And so it was named Final Fantasy III on the Super Nintendo. That was the first proper role-playing game I ever played, and Final Fantasy III/6 is the game that got me into role-playing games. That shit was amazing. Anyone of any age, even if you weren't raised with those types of games, if you like immersive games with interesting, funny dialogue, actually, that is atmospheric, keeping in mind that Super Nintendo, it's going to be 16-bit era, it's older style of graphics, but still very pretty graphics for its style. I highly recommend anyone to play Final Fantasy III on Super Nintendo, or Final Fantasy VI as it was named once they re-released it on the PlayStation. You will not regret it. Do yourself a favor. At least give it a good one playthrough. It's full of fantasy, steampunk, apocalypse kind of a feel to it. Do a good job with all of the characters. Considering it's a video game, you know, there's not a whole lot they can do, you know, compared to like a movie or something with creating dialogue and emotional connection with characters. I did manage to connect with a lot of the characters in there and actually cared about what was happening. That's a testament to the writing and visual style of the game. Even the music in it, considering back in that day, all the music was MIDI. It was all like the electronic beeps and bloops from the Super Nintendo that you could emulate. But composers, you know, if you get a good composer, you don't need a whole lot of sound options to make a good composition. It's not about the availability of instruments, it's about how you arrange them. And they had good composers for a lot of those games on even the original Nintendo. But they obviously were, you know, clearly it helps if you have more options, but still, good music makes a big difference to bring you into the atmosphere of any game, any media really, but talking about gaming in this particular conversation, well, this particular monologue, conversation with myself, particular reflection, we'll call it a reflection, how's that? remember in Final Fantasy III when they had, anyone who's played it would know exactly what I'm talking about, but the opera sequence, it wasn't even necessarily like a critical juncture in the game, but it was, for me, one of the most memorable points in the game. How much effort they put into it, and the atmosphere it created. One of the main characters had to fill in for a part in an opera, and apparently she could sing, and no one knew she could sing before that, if I remember correctly. And you had to like spend time to remember the parts. It wasn't hard. It was like it would play through, and then you'd have like multiple choice options when like certain points come up they had to do in a particular time frame. Otherwise, it wouldn't. You'd fail and have to start it over. The time frame was pretty generous though. Like unless you just weren't paying attention at all, you'd be able to do it. And the composition for that particular piece in the opera was excellent, and like I was kind of raised loving all the classical music anyway, anything from the Baroque period as well, especially I'm particularly fond of. And I played in an orchestra, I played the violin, so like I really love that style of music anyway, and so I wasn't sure when they were going to do it, because they were kind of leading up to it a bit. I was like, is this going to like be butchered because it's on like a Super Nintendo? They don't really have, you know, the capabilities of an orchestra, you know? But they did it, and I was surprised. Like it actually created an emotional response. I didn't break down in tears or anything, but it did have an effect, and I thought it was done really well. It's one of the standout games in gaming history, in my opinion. Final Fantasy III. I think I must have, when I owned that back in the day on Super Nintendo,
Somebody delivered
I must have played that at least 3 times. Oh wow, okay. There you go. Thought it would have one-shot it, but I guess those things have durability. Well, another loot midget anyway, so on average, I'm gonna guess, I think this is maybe my 6th run-through on this, and that was the 3rd loot midget, so far, it seems to be 1 loot midget for every 2 run-throughs. Whether it maintains that or not is another question. So it's definitely time-consuming, but you know, it's something I could do once in a while. And it actually is making it easier having an audience to monologue to. You know, kind of passes the time a bit, reflecting on old school gaming. And Earthbound, Super Nintendo. I know, I'm playing Borderlands too, and I'm talking about games that are 20 years old, you know. What do you do? There's only so much I can talk about Borderlands on here, especially when all I'm doing is opening a bunch of loot boxes. But Earthbound's another game for the Super Nintendo that is an odd combination of, like, I guess I'll say drama. Yeah, it's got some pretty serious situations in there, dealing with death. Like, freaking human. There's a part where you gotta rescue somebody who's gonna be sacrificed, fucking full on, and like there's, I'm guessing, some kind of invasion. Like, you learn all this really early on, like the first 20 minutes of gameplay. You know, I'm not really giving anything away here. And oh damn, yeah, it's another one. Cool. But again, the atmosphere in that game is just enthralling. Oh, maybe that's a bit of an exaggeration, but like, yeah, like the music choices they pick in there. They've composed all this stuff, you know, for the game. It's not like they've taken stuff from other things. It just creates a sense of unease and has a surreal feel to it, which I love. But it's just the dialogue is just funny. I mean, like half the time somebody says something and I'm like, what the hell was that? And even like the concepts are just odd. Like there was one point to where there was this massive gray and black pencil, a gigantic pencil blocking my path. Like, I'm not even kidding you. And so, what I had to do in order to get past it, is talk to this inventor kid who invented an eraser that erased pencils. Not the drawing from the pencils, no, 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 no. That would have made too much sense. It erases the actual pencils. And so he warns you not to go next to a stationery store that sells too many pencils, otherwise they'll lose all their stock. But that's how you get past a point in the game. And I was like, who thinks of this shit? It's just stuff like that all throughout the game. It's just odd. And that was just like one little thing. But yeah, it's a great game. Like the mechanics of the game are done well. You know, considering you're talking like role-playing games at the time, still like turn-based combat, that kind of thing. But it's fast. You're not like sitting there and drawing out combats for no reason. And there's like Final Fantasy 3 had random encounters, which I kind of got used to over time, but it can be annoying when you're trying to just wander around, and especially in lower level areas. So what Earthbound did is you can actually see the enemies on screen, kind of like Chrono Trigger style. So you can actually avoid them if you want. In saying that, if you don't fight anything, you don't gain enough levels, and you'll just die. So it's kind of a catch-22, but the other good thing they did is if enemies are particularly weak, they'll actually run from you, and if you do even fight them, and you're way overpowered, it doesn't even go into a combat screen. It just says, you win, here's your experience. And you go along your way. So that's actually really good as well. If you want to go back to an area to explore something you think you've missed, then it doesn't, you're not getting unnecessarily bogged down by random encounters. So that was actually a good thing about it as well. And I love like even the save points are fun with that game, because a save point is you get on a phone to your dad, because you're a kid, like, I don't know, I'm gonna guess possibly as young as like 12 or something. I don't think he's like 8 or anything like that. But they're pretty young kids, like it's fucking crazy shit, and they're going on this like massively important mission, like it's talking apocalyptic scenario here. And his parents are totally okay with it. You know, he's bringing his friends along, his little kid friends along to this potential death scenario. And you get your phone to your dad, and he's like, okay, well, you know, you've been out there for a while, you want to take a break? And you usually say no because you want to continue. And he's like, okay, well, don't work too hard like your mom did, bye. And I'm like, wait, what? I mean, he didn't say it negatively, like that sounds kind of negative when I say it like that, but he, it was said more of a, you're a hard worker kind of thing, but don't work too hard kind of thing. It's more what that was. But yeah, like every time you get on the phone, that's a little dialogue between you and your dad, and that's how you save your game, and he saves your game. As opposed to just having like a shiny save point or something like Final Fantasy does. It's kind of amusing. So there's little things like that that are pretty clever and just entertaining for the writing style. My melting. Oh. Does he have shit signed inside of his mouth? It looks like his signature. Or is it supposed to be like dirty snow or something? I don't know. Doesn't matter. What did I think? There's a third one somewhere. I don't know why I thought that. Doesn't matter. I'm just like wanting there to be more, but... Well, maybe we'll just keep doing this until I leave, because I mean, I've got to leave in an hour and 15, but I still need to get ready before then, so I'll probably just farm. What the hell? We'll just farm this until I get ready to go. I don't have time to properly start a. I mean, it wouldn't be starting. I've played through a little bit on the Ultimate Vault, but yeah, I haven't even got to the. I don't even think I've got to the Sanctuary for the first time yet. So I'm pretty early on, I think. I don't remember, but yeah, anyway. Down we go! No, I thought there was that. Ah. Kriegsy! Fortunately, with this character, I do have a couple of good level 72 items. I've got a level 72 Firehawk, because that's what what you use with Krieg. You just take damage till you Firehawk shit, and then you grog nozzle people. That's all. Okay, so I'm not a big fan of cheating when it comes to games, at least not for first playthroughs. Additional playthroughs, you're bored, you want to mix it up, sure, whatever. But the one thing I did cheat with on this is I've got a grog nozzle. I guess it's technically a modded weapon, simply because normally you can only get the grog nozzle when you have to do a particular mission. And you only get the weapon while you're doing the mission. But it's a pretty useful weapon. So like you can actually keep it in game by just not completing the mission. So it is a weapon you can actually, permanently keep, but it just requires you to have this mission permanently incompleted, which to me is just stupid. Like, if there's a way you can have the weapon in the game indefinitely, just let me have the weapon. There's no reason to take it back off me. So, because of that, I don't really feel like it's cheating, because the only practical effect it's changed in the game is that I was able to complete the mission. And the rewards aren't even anything special. It's just like, I can't remember what it was, but I didn't keep the rewards, so if that tells you anything. So that's the only cheat I've got on here, really, is the, I guess, sort of modded grog nozzle. But the stats on the grog nozzle itself are still legit stats. Like, they're not boosted stats or anything. Like, they haven't been maxed out or anything like that. And everything else I've just either looted myself or I've had duped for me. And yes, duping is technically cheating, but it's still legitimate loot that you can get in the game, so... because I don't have the time to dump into this game to, like, legitimately hunt for all the loot, like that, yeah, that doesn't bother me either. But things I don't like are, like, having, like, just made-up weapons or something that you couldn't ever get in the game. It's like, I guess the only cheats I've done in this game are things to get me equipment faster, but it's still equipment you can legitimately get in the game. And I've already played this a lot. Like, for me, it's a lot. I couldn't give you a number of hours. I don't know if it keeps track of it anywhere in here or not, but like dozens and dozens of hours I would have played this game for. Easily. But I know there's people that have played it for hundreds, like several hundred hours, which I don't think I've played any game for hundreds of hours, so there's no way I would be able to fuck off. Dedicate that much time to a game in order to get everything, so yeah, there you go. There you have it. You wonder how many different kinds of loot midgets there are.
I wanna hear you scream!
Damn. Get my hopes up. You know, that's two loot midgets in a row there, nearly. Well, not in a row, but like, yeah, very close to each other. This is in one run, so. This year for Christmas, so far I have seen the Nutcracker Ballet. First time seeing a ballet. It was absolutely brilliant. I've wanted to see ballet ever since my early teens, I think. If I remember correctly. If it gives you any indication of how long it's been, I'm now 38, so it's taken me that long to actually make time. Probably the biggest biggest reason why I haven't until now is one, cost. They're not cheap. And two, usually I'll want to do things with other people. And I just never had anybody that wanted to go see a ballet, really. At least not as a teenager. I mean, yeah, I guess my mother probably would have been fine with it, but I never really, well, she probably actually would have enjoyed that, but, so I don't know, for some reason I never really, I don't know, just never made time for it. This time I was like, fuck it, doing it, going, putting the money aside, I'm gonna do it. I did it. That was, I'll take back my previous statement. I said getting the Super Nintendo Mini is the best decision of the month. I think seeing the Nutcracker was actually the best decision of the month because that will create a lasting memory. And it's an experience that I can't really replicate with anything else. So that was brilliant. I would recommend anybody who likes... I mean, you've got to like the music. I've always liked Tchaikovsky anyway, liked the music. And I've always liked dance in many forms. I think part of it as well is I was concerned that maybe I would get bored part of the way through because like it's cool, but it's you know, with dance, it's a lot of the same kind of thing repeated. So unless they vary it up properly and it's well choreographed, then damn it. Then yeah, it can get a bit repetitive. And there were a couple of times through the ballet to where I wasn't as interested as others, but I think that was probably more due to like the particular pieces of music that were playing at the time didn't grab me as much because the music's important, and the choreography of those particular dances for some reason didn't grab me as much either. So it wasn't that they were bad; it's just that they didn't click with me for whatever reason. But other than that, the rest of the time I was like entranced. I've used that word a couple times already, but like I can't think of a better word for it. Like I was just, the second anything came on screen, like I couldn't help but stop this massive smile coming across my face and just feeling, it was, it had its own magic to it. Like it felt a little bit magical. And I know that sounds cheesy, and look, maybe it is, but nonetheless, it's accurate. So, I have booked to go see another ballet, which will be The Little Mermaid. I always liked Disney movies anyway, and The Little Mermaid, along with Beauty and the Beast, are two of my favorites. So I figure, why not see it as a ballet? Didn't even know it was a ballet. I think it's new, maybe. So I'm going to check that shit out next month, see what that's like. And if I like that one, I'm pretty sure that's going to hook me on ballet. Because I already love it after seeing the Nutcracker. So if I see two in a short period of time that are both really good, I think that'll be it. I think I'll be hooked. So let's see how that goes. I've also got myself some nog. I think my mom always, well not always, mom introduced me to, I should say, is eggnog mixed with 7-Up. Sounds weird, right? Well, it is, but it is also delicious. So, unfortunately, I couldn't find any 7-Up. I don't know what it is, but Australia doesn't really seem to sell it much. I've seen it around, but when I went to get it, they didn't have any. So I bought Sprite. Honestly, pretty much the same thing. So you mix your eggnog and Sprite. I usually do about 50-50. I drank a whole liter of eggnog and Sprite, so 2 liters of drink in a night. Granted, it was over like a few hours, I guess. But it was great. So that's a Christmassy thing that I like to do every year if I can. I had my gingerbread. Happy with that. I did something else too. What did I do? I did something else that was Christmassy related. Oh, I saw a parade. That's what it was. I saw a Christmas parade in the city, which is cool. So I've done a fair amount of Christmas stuff this year. I have my little USB tree. Because I live in a tiny apartment, I can't be fucked putting up an actual tree. Honestly, it's a lot of effort. So I've got a little USB tree here, plugged into my PlayStation, that I can look at. Which I quite like. Somebody gave it to me as a gift. Last year, actually. And so I think I might use that every year for a while. It's appropriately festive. Liqueur coffee. Yes, I'm still drinking the same liqueur coffee. I'm a sipper, not a chugger. I like to enjoy my coffee. If I want to get drunk, I'm not going to do it off liqueur coffees. That's for sure. I'll have like one liqueur coffee will last me like an hour, at least. Especially if I'm not doing something else, it's different. But when I'm like gaming or something, it can last me a while.
I want to hear you.
Stop, motherfucker! Where's Jenkins? Where's it? Get me Jenkins. What's up? Nope. Run through your leg. I am the Slayer of Terramorphous. Oh yeah. Right. Just did this DLC yesterday with my friend on this game in here. I can't remember what it's called, but it's kind of a Torg one, I think. And oh no, it was a Thanksgiving one. That's what it was. The Thanksgiving one. We have to go kill this giant turkey beast thing. And there was a part in there after you do that where we have to listen to. We don't have to, but it's a mission where we can listen to his grandma just prattle on, basically. And it's actually pretty funny. Like, it's just basically a whole lot of monologue, but the way it was written, it actually kept my attention and was pretty funny. Like, I wasn't like laughing my ass off or anything, but there were several parts to where I was laughing, and it just was entertaining. And there were like 2 parts to it as well. Like, she drones on and on and on about stuff, and she like refers to things you've done. So I think it must. And she says like specific things that we've done too. So I'm wondering if the dialogue might be slightly different, because if there are things that I hadn't done in here, then if it mentioned it, it would kind of break the atmosphere. So that would actually be curious to see if that changes. Like, she even mentioned how we killed Terramorphous. Like, that's a bonus thing. We don't have to kill Terramorphous, for example. But yeah, there was like 2 sections to it. Like, we did this whole quest, did the whole thing, turned it in, and then she had another one, and I'm like, oh my god, there's another one. So I did it again. And there's a point where she has us go collect freaking little candies for her, because she's like, I remember these candies used to have there. Actually, could you get me some? They're over there. I'm like, oh my god, now we gotta go to freaking fetch quest for her. But yeah, it was pretty amusing. I'd recommend, if you just want like a chill little side thing, and you like listening to entertaining writing, then do that quest. It's pretty fun. Definitely getting a lot faster at this. Oh, I thought, yeah. That was gunfire. Oop. Next! I've got my Super Nintendo stuff laying out here, ready to be packed. Need to pack a couple changes of clothes, too. I'm staying over for 2 nights. I may not stay over for both nights, though. I'll see how I feel. I might want to spend a day at home before I go back to work, because I go back to work on Wednesday, so I might want to just chill out at home for a bit. In saying that, I could spend the night and just leave in the morning, and have half the day at home. Like, I'm not going to be doing anything, so I don't know. See how it goes. Good thing is I don't have to decide now. I can decide on the day. I should bring my phone charger with me too. 2 days is a while. I think it'll die. There we go. Phone charger. Just got a new phone too. Yay me. Got an S8. Wouldn't have got a new one because I actually had to pay to upgrade my phone. But because when you pay to upgrade your phone, I paid $150 to upgrade my phone. You pay to upgrade it, and they essentially put you on a new contract. But the contract I changed to is $40 less a month. So in 3 months, 4 months I guess, it'll pay itself off for the extra I paid for it. And I'm getting a better phone. And the plan I'm on gives me more data. And unlimited text and calls. Not that I ever use the text and calls enough for it to actually matter, but it's more the extra data that makes the difference. So that never happens. You pay that much less a month for a better plan and a new phone. Like that doesn't happen. So when I realized that, I was like, fuck, taking advantage of this guy.
I can't wait to taste your lungs.
I can't wait to taste your lungs, mate. It's a machine. Didn't think that one through very well, did you, crazy? Ooh, hello, Iridium. 80. There aren't many things left I need to upgrade, actually. I upgraded most things. I've got like some left that are 100. And I think I've got like assault rifles that I've like essentially not upgraded at all because I just never use them with Krieg. But otherwise, dup. I remember how much when I first started playing, I would run out of ammo just all the time. So annoying. So upgrading ammo is definitely a big deal in this game, like ammo capacity.
Lay down.
And storage capacity, like you don't think storage capacity is going to be an issue, but oop. But yeah, once you start getting decent loot for things, and like it's not just getting better loot, but like there are different guns that give you different options and how to play your character. And so there are sort of kind of like different builds, I guess, that you want to keep for each character. And so you can actually, anyway, I was able to anyway, actually fill up my inventory relatively quickly, and even selling stuff that I absolutely didn't need. Like my stash is full, and I could probably maybe sell a couple of things, but like, and some of the things you just want to keep because they're amusing, you know. So, I don't know. Need to, oops. Need to upgrade my stash if I can. I don't even know if I have that much more I can upgrade. I mean, I only have one more space, if any. I should check that next time. I don't know if any of you had that problem. But somebody I was playing with the other day said they had like 300 items because of an item like storage glitch they were able to utilize. Like 300 items in their inventory, and I'm like, what the fuck? Like, they just could literally never pick anything up because their inventory was full of all this shit. I'm like, I've got a lot of items, so I think I've only got like maybe 20 or 30 or something, or off the top of my head for this character. Like, it's not 300. Like, I can't even think of 300 items that I would want. There's not that many builds that you can do for any one character that are, well, not that are effective anyway. And sure, I don't build characters solely for effectiveness, but like, I'll have a few weapons and whatever that I just use because they're fun, but still, even then, 300? Holy shit! Like, that's like more than 2 hands worth of guns. Boom.
I want to hear you scream.
No. Give me Jenkins, come on. Give it to me. Give it to me.
Target the raiders.
Damn. Sploot. Oops.
It ends now.
Boom. Oh, I missed. How did I miss with the shotgun? It's weird. Whee! Eh. What's up? Sploot. Eh. Did I miss? Eh. That fucking guy. Like, I'm not even over there. What's the point of that? You're doing nothing. Plonk. So much gunfires. Eh. Eh. Well, you know, still making progress even if I haven't got it yet, because it's like every time I run through, I'm got a chance of it dropping, so. I actually do kind of want to play, like, finish this in Ultimate Ball Hunter mode, though. Maybe that'll be my next thing. It'd be good to get one character, like, all the way through everything. I haven't actually done that yet. I have other characters that are higher level than this, but maybe only have one. But they were pulled through. I haven't actually played them much. So like this character, I've legitimately got to level 57, for example. I haven't pulled through or anything. There might have been some times where I played in my friend's campaign that was higher level a bit, but like we still did all the things legitimately. To where some of the other, like a couple of my other characters were just power level. Like I would did the thing where we sat in a sanctuary and just like there's a glitch you can get where you just constantly kill this guy and over and over and over and over and over, and basically put a rubber band on the trigger, and then sit there. And so we'd leave it like overnight or something. And I got a character to like 61 that way. We didn't leave it overnight. I think we left it for a few hours while we're doing something else. But yeah. And so that character, I don't even know if I've beat the game once with that character, but they're high level for that reason. But I can join other people's games, say, and help them. Oh, I thought that may have been a mission, but it wasn't. Eh. Not this guy. Whee! What's up? Yeah. Down we go. Tales from the Borderlands is another one that I haven't finished yet. That was actually quite fun. I don't know if any of you have played the Tales of games or whatever, Tales from games. I haven't played any of them before, but I know they have a bunch. But I was started to play through Tales from the Borderlands, and got a couple chapters through. It's actually quite engaging because it's an interactive story, so the writing is good. So like that in itself is interesting, but there's just enough interaction from the player's side to make them feel invested into it as well. So that's another game I would recommend, and if any of the other games are anything like that, probably any of them would be good, I would think. And they've got a bunch. I know they've got one with Batman, Game of Thrones. They have like a werewolf one, I think, actually. And a few other ones I can't think of off the top of my head as well. I might do one or two more runs and then call it, so I have enough time to get ready without rushing myself. Yeah. Whee!
Grenade out!
No, no. Oh, come here.
Throwing grenade!
I've got to get a challenge still for killing enemies at range with the shotguns. I'm not really sure how far away they've got to be, but Figured if I kill an enemy once in a while at range with a shotgun, I'll eventually get it. I don't need to get them, but they do give you badass ranks, which are cool, so. I mean, even the fact that they're called badass ranks is amusing. What's up? Mm-hmm. Getting comfy in my chair. Resituating. Kind of a zen quality to it once I get in the pattern. Alright, one more run through, I reckon, and then I'll call it there. Just so I can get enough time to get changed and pack an overnight bag. Yup. Yales. Need to bring my alcohol over as well. Because one thing I do think I'm going to do when I'm over there is get drunk at some point. Obviously can't maintain that through the entire day, 3 days, but I could pick a night. Do it. Because they've got alcohol there as well, so I shall bring some to contribute. Boing. Just the boing, I guess. Do this so many times, I think I get confused sometimes as to which little section is which, because I'm just kind of like zoning out while I'm doing it now. It's just kind of a pattern that I'm just following by memory now. Oh look, kill constructors, there you go. Yeah, no. Shouldn't even bother checking those. It's all in normal anyway. It's normal difficulty, so nothing's gonna be actually good. Oops. Oh, right. Okay. Mm-hmm. Does this consider that range? Don't know. Let's see. Yeah, apparently need to get some more critical hits too. Well, to get to level 5, I mean, you know. Done the level 1 versions of all this shit. This Jenkins one's literally the only one left that I've got to do to get the trophy. So, you know, for trophy's sake, I don't need to get anything else, but again, it still gives me badass ranks, so I do still kind of like doing them when I can. Or at least keeping an eye on some and, you know, getting some progress to them as I get the opportunity. What's up? Those are fun. Idiot. Didn't miss one, did I? No. Damn. Okay. Now what I might do is I might swap to my shotgun and then go in and out of that area to save, because it's not hard to switch every time. When I'm doing it that many times in a row, switching from the rocket launcher to the shotgun every time is a little bit annoying. So I might just quickly sort that out so that next time when I pick it up, I could just go. Dear. Yeah, that shit, see? Because everything's machines, having this just makes sense. Alright, now while I'm here, I may as well just open these two. And call it a day. Oop. Pick up your ammo. Yeah, there you go. Alright. Thank you folks for watching. I will sign off for now. And hope to catch you guys later. Merry Christmas, everyone. Bye!